What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond. I'm back with the all new episode of Love and Hip Hop Miami. I found out that I think next week is the season finale, which I'm kind of thankful for because I wouldn't know what else they can come up with. This season, this was a very short season, definitely different than the season last year. Last year was really explosive, but this season, All right, let's get into it. I'm already frustrated because we're starting off with the ending of the conversation between Sheila, Princess, and Neri about Sheila not understanding why isn't Neri not invited, and why, if this is supposed to be a healing and learning and understanding, why can't we invite non-black women who are raising black children to get some learning and understanding? Listen, I'm done talking about this. Princess, you are using what you do not understand, not even do not understand, but I don't know if you felt like because you and Ray J did not have much of a storyline coming on this particular season. I don't know why. And so you had to come up with a way to make another beat, to make another situation that definitely did not need to be a situation. You need to have therapy with your mother. Go at your mother for not giving you a full rundown of who you are and what you are. You are half Filipino and half black. Your mother did not want to learn what it means to raise a black child. Take it up to your mother. Don't come at Sheila trying to change her mind about her event that she has already explained what it was, which is BS to me. Then she wants to go at Sheila and say, you are biracial, right? Yes, but I never felt included anywhere. She said, same. Okay, but I never felt included in my family. In my peers, in my friends, I've always felt like I could fit in, I could be understood, I could be accepted. But my family, no. She even talked about when she was a kid, her family would make comments about her being half black. And when it even came down to family events, they say she couldn't go to Disneyland because she was black. I'm like, are you serious right now? They told you you could not go to Disneyland because you was black. That's some bullshit. And then it's so funny how they're coming at you for being black, but I feel like I don't know what other upbringing, what other struggles have you had, Princess? Because I could no, I don't know if I can say that. So I'm trying to understand exactly like were you obviously you have the features, but you are just a tan lighter than them. But Filipinos are of different shades as well, right? They are tan, they're light, they're in between. Like they're not like the melatonin of black people, but you guys got some skin. You guys got some like Pocahontas skin, some like y'all got some skin tones like that. But it's crazy if your family literally made you feel like an outsider because you was black and you can go to Disneyland. Please, okay. So obviously she's saying there is racism in families, and she's right. There is. There is other people in your family that do make you feel different than other people, even though you guys are all family. You guys all have the same grandmothers, uncles, all that type of stuff, but there is something else in you that shows out differently than them. I feel like it's a form of hidden jealousy that you are different, that you are more than what just being this. But at the same time, it's like all families have a sense of racism, colorism, prejudice. We all have them. With this, I understand you, Princess, but at the same time, this retreat is not for mothers or is not for understanding what it means to raise children. This is a getaway. This is a escape from black women, for them to have a relaxing, free, peaceful moment of just getting away from their normal lives. Getting away from being a mother, a wife, a caregiver, a provider, a helpmate. This is just an escape because there isn't anything for us to just be us, for us to let our hair down, talk about what we go through without someone else who isn't black want to put their 2 cents in. But it's like your struggles are not my struggles. What your struggles might be minute to what I have to go through every day by being a black woman, being black, period. So then, she gives them the real. Listen, we don't do the whole brown paper bag test, the marker, you're this, you can come in. No. And my event isn't only catered to black women, but for this particular retreat, this is particularly specified for black women or who women who identify as black. So at the same time, I don't understand. And for Neri is being quiet the entire time while letting Princess speak up for her, but also Princess putting her 2 cents in and speaking about her experiences. Neri's still quiet and just sat there as if it wasn't her who had the statement from the beginning that I'm not invited. You don't identify as black, Neri. And it still does not give you a pass to come in on something that you do not understand. Just because your son is black and Spanish, that don't mean nothing. You are not black. You are either Cuban, Colombian, whatever you are, you do not identify as black. So whatever struggles you have for raising your black son, I don't think you have any. That's the thing that always gets me. Some people feel like because I'm raising black children, I know what it means to be black. You don't. You don't know what it means to be black because you're not black. You do not identify as black. So obviously, like Sheila is really getting irritated that she has to defend herself and explain herself more than what she's already explained in the beginning. She's already told y'all, my event is for this because when I did open it before to other minorities, I got feedback from my community that felt like it's not fair that we have to open up ourselves, open up what we wanted for ourselves to other people who do not live the life that we do. Y'all ain't got half those problems as us as black women do. Y'all don't. Y'all just think because you dating a black man, you know what it means to dating a black man? No, the fuck you don't. Because right when it comes down to you being with the black man, you get all the credit, you get all the fame, you get all of the, you guys are cute together. But when it comes to having children, you be like, I didn't sign up for this. I don't know what to do with this. Okay, well, you shouldn't have a kid by a black man then. It is not all sunshine and rainbows when you want to fetishize about being with a black man, but yet be afraid, be concerned, be confused as to what it means to be with him. I'm confused. This is what you want to be with, right? So you're going to end up being with everything about him, knowing where he lives, knowing what he do, knowing what his family dynamic is like. And then you want to feel afraid and say, this is not what I signed up for, then don't date a black man if you're not going to know and not want to integrate yourself into understanding what it is to be black. Don't do that just so you can say, I love black people, or my first love was a black man, for like family and fiance. Don't do that. So as Princess is crying, trying to be understanding. Sheila's like, listen, I am done explaining myself. Why am I explaining myself? And Princess is feeling like Sheila's trying to check her, but she's not. She gave you the floor, Princess, for you to hear. Like, why won't you and Neri open up a support group of what it means for non-black women to raising black children? You're going to get a whole lot of people coming your way. Why won't you do that? And why is it the first time you want to come up with something like this? Listen, Princess, I'm getting tired of you trying to make fetch happen and it's not going to happen. This entire situation that happened between you and your mother is you and your mother. Right now, I don't know why you're feeling like you are so lost in this world by raising black children when you're married to Ray J. You got his mother. You got his sister. What are you talking about? You have a village that can help you when it comes to raising black children. You are not by yourself. Why are you making it seem as if you are struggling with raising your kids by yourself? But I feel like, Princess, you're not even going to think about it as hard because your kids look just like you. I mean, Epic looks just like Ray J, but as far as your daughter, she looks just like you, and she has curly hair. So I don't know if you're going to feel like she's going to have a hard time growing up because she's passable with looking like what a black and Filipino girl would look like. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not going to have the struggles of, what's my skin tone? Why are my eyes like this? My hair is like this. My friend's hair is like this. I don't know, Princess. Are you going to have those hard conversations? When it comes to understanding where she comes from, what does she have to do, what does she needs to learn, or you want to give her a pass because she passes off as being a Filipino versus than being half black? I just want to know, Princess, because I feel like you're giving off passes of being accepted or what it means to look, what it means to be biracial. You don't know the full struggles like Sheila do. I believe Sheila is black. Whatever feature she has with her mother, don't see it. Her struggles were different than yours. But it's just, oh my God, this entire conversation was just irritating. And the fact that Princess took it to this level and she said, how is it you want to be open to retreat but not open to other people? She open to listening to you. She did, but at the same point in time, it's her event. Don't change her mind. If you feel like this, then don't go, which is what she didn't want to do. And nobody was going to beg you either. Moving on. Sookie, she's meeting with her friend Tina to talk about how she got her Instagram back. Now the Good Cat's about to open in a week. And she ain't fooling around with Kill Bill no more. So it turns out Kill Bill is good friends with Tina, and he's been calling her, telling her how much he misses her, how much he loves her, he wants to do better. And she said, listen, at the end of the day, that's what scares me. We have constant fights, we have constant arguing, but I love how he is with my kids. I love how he makes me feel. But I don't want to open up my heart to that again. Because when it came down to the business side, it showed a different side of him that I did not know. I did not, wish to know. And then her friend gave her advice to write down all the good and all the bad that he's ever done. If the good outweighs the bad, then forgive him and move on. If the bad outweighs the good, then drop him. I mean, for me, Sookie, I feel like you kind of gave Bill that opening to be like this because you said in the beginning of the season, you guys are like this. Whatever I say, he has to say. Wherever I do, he goes with me. We're one. The whole thing about having a baby, the whole thing about getting married, the whole thing about putting our family together. Like you gave him the feeling of he can now have a input plus authority to your career. I don't know if you guys ever had a conversation of what it means to separate you being my fiance, but you cannot be in my business as you my fiance. You know what I'm saying? I know you want the best for me, but the way you're coming off as if you're the one who knows me about my business, but I've had this business before I met you. So you're just coming in with everything is like going really, really good versus how it is when I struggled. But I don't know, Sookie, I don't know. Versus than how it was on the internet. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like you gave Bill so many like freedom to say what he wants to say. Then when it came down to the business aspect, you never gave him like the reason of, you know what, baby, I know you kind of know about this, but you kind of don't know about this. So I'm gonna need you to take a step back or don't show up because this is not for you, and I don't want this to mess up what we have between us. Flo. Flo is meeting with her sister at her restaurant and says that her and her sister have always been rivals. They've always like competed with everything, and now they have competing restaurants. So now they're finding out that Marlon was right. Gael told her the truth. She wants them to get back on being sisters and not being rivals. So they both have been busy, 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 busy. Now her sister Joyce comes in, and obviously they had a whole lot to come out at her beauty bar grand opening, but nothing was really resolved. So now they want to talk about it more. Knowing that Marlon has touched both of her sisters and now cheated with someone that Gaia knew from 15 years ago, she's like, I don't know what to say. I'm numb. And then it's like, what's the fuck's going on? I want closure. I'm done with Marlon. I'm done with all of that. And they say, all right, fine. You done with it? You done? Okay, let's end this shit because I'm done talking about it. So now we find a very sad, but a part of me did not believe it, from Gael. Gael has a son. He's 22. He did a robbery. He got 2 years. No. She has a son. He's 22 years old. He was charged with robbery, but he violated his parole and ended up serving 2 years. Now we find out that he was stabbed, and she doesn't know what his condition is. She breaks down crying. I didn't see no tears. I did see sweat. Her sister Joyce tries to give her a napkin. She didn't take it. Then Flo gives her a napkin. She takes it. A part of me was like, is this really, I mean, not to say that this can't happen in a prison because it can, but the way that Gael just said it and the way that it was presented, this whole theatrical build-up moment, like what you see in a soap opera, all of the, the in close of the camera and the songs, and it's, I don't know. I don't know. Something's telling me half of it was like, oh, well, I hope he is okay. And the second, are you really this upset about it? Or did you find out before then? And then you've already cried, you've already expressed it, but then you get on camera, you do a whole big dramatic, expression, like theatrical of it all. Like I said, not to say that it wasn't sad to hear, it's just the way that it was presented seemed a little fake. It seemed a little fake to me. So obviously, Flo has one tear crying down, and she felt like I got so caught up with Marlon and my family that I lost sight to what was really important with my sisters. We need to get back together and be a real family. Okay. Trina, still reliving from what happened the other night with the whole spiritual advisor, the pastor, and Joy is definitely like, she feels bad for Pastor Bentley, and she doesn't blame. What did she say? She doesn't blame Pastor Bentley. She said she doesn't blame Pastor Bentley for what happened, but she's going to continue to try to get Trina to relax and make an effort out of this trip. Joy, I would have stopped trying from that point on. I would have stopped trying because like I said in my last video, there are only so many times I'm going to defend your behavior until it'll be like, girl, you cannot use your mother's death for you to go at people, disrespect them, talk to them crazy. You can't keep using your mother's death for it. You need to get some help, get some therapy, and learn how to communicate without going that way at somebody. So while everybody's like having breakfast on the lawn, on the balcony, Bobby brings up, did you tell Trina, did you apologize to Trina for bringing Pastor Bentley? She looks at Bobby like, you are such a fucking idiot. You are such a messy bitch. Like, messy. She said, Bobby is such a troublemaker, I can't take him nowhere. But Trina doesn't pay it no mind. She said, we all got off on the wrong foot. I don't believe in the whole, God's going to take away my pain. God's going to do this. You can't take away the pain that I'm feeling. You know what, Trina? Nobody can take away from it, but you can learn to deal with it. Little by little, it's not going to break you down every time you think about it. Yes, the love of your mother will always be there, but holding on to the pain of her not being there is not healthy. That, trust and believe. When someone leaves you, they never really leave you. It's just that their physical presence is not here anymore, but their spirit is still here. You can feel you can feel your mother's presence all around you every time you go somewhere. You really can. So, but she said, listen, I want to try to relax and make the best out of this trip. You know what I'm saying? I want to make the best out. Bill is hanging out with his friend. He's expressing to him about what's going on between him and Sookie. He's depressed. He's lonely. He lost sight of himself because he put his all into Sookie and helping her in her career, and he felt like, what did I do? You never want to get so wrapped up in somebody because you lose sight of yourself. And you always want to keep a separation of, I could be here for you, but I can also do something for myself and not feel like I am choosing how to be here, not be here. You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes. And he's just talking about, how he loves Sookie. Sookie saved him. He was facing a murder charge, almost waiting for life, and now he's free. Sookie showed a different side of what it means to be in love, what it means to be happy. And his friend is like, okay, tell her what you told me. And I know that sometimes when it comes to talking about what's happening, there's a way to express without talking at somebody. Don't step on me when I'm telling you how I feel. And yes, he's made some mistakes. He's not perfect, but he feel like, I don't want to have to be second guessing the rest of my life of being with her. But I do know I love her more than anybody I've ever met. I know she loves me, and I can't live my life without her. But does he want to be with this for the rest of his life? Does he? We're gonna find out. So Amada, she's meeting with Princess and Neri for dinner, and they continue to complain about Sheila not biting, not taking back, not inviting Neri to the event because she wasn't being open to non-black mothers raising black children. But this retreat wasn't about mothers. This retreat was about a getaway for all black women to just relax, have a vacation, get away from all the bullshit we got to deal with in our lives. That's what it was. So the fact that Neri or Princess is complaining about not being able to go or not being accepted is annoying to me. There are a lot of things that you don't get invited to, and that's totally fine. You need to be understanding that you don't have to get invited to everything. And I said to my last video, she just met you, Neri. She's not going to open up to be open to invite you to everything when you don't need to be included. That's fine. Also, Neri is preparing for her 10-year anniversary wedding vow renewal with Nori because they got married in Vegas. And if they make it to their 10-year anniversary, they can have a whole big party. So that's what she's doing. Princess wants advice to make it to 10 years. She's been married for 5. Okay, well, obviously no advice needed because you're not getting a divorce. You moved out. And Ray J wants custody of both children. So you didn't make it. Good night. So, obviously, the whole thing about they're not going to be on the same page, blah, blah, blah. I ain't got time for it. They tell her about what happened, and Amada says she's being very specific. It's her event. But also, Amada wants to say, I hate the fact that we have to say, you can go, you can go, you can go, you can go. Amada, no, you disappointed me. I don't know if you felt like you just wanted to say something to pacify their feelings, or you really didn't give a damn, because you haven't changed your mind about going. I didn't hear you say I'm not going. I think you're still going to go, but Princess says she's not going to go. At the end of the day, it don't really matter, but for everything else, I don't know, Amada, it really made me mad that you wanted to say, well, I think for women, they should be all included, all minorities, all women to be accepted. Amada, you have said the opposite for the first 3 seasons, how you never felt accepted from anybody, and that you constantly had to defend on where you are, what you come from, what you mean, how you are. And nobody has opened doors for you. You have to open doors for yourself. So how is it that you want to do all of that, but want to switch it up to pacify Princess and Neri's needs? near Princess and Nere's feelings. Why is that? Why is that? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And it really baffled me that you said that. Amada, no. No, no, no. I didn't like that at all because it's definitely a switch to what you did the beginning of the season to now here. I was very disappointed. So then, she's also talking about how the situation between her mother and her father being in the house has been difficult, especially with her mother's feelings, and how, she wanted to be a different experience of having both families in her home because she never had that growing up. But obviously all that time was all that wants, all that, dreams were wasted because he wanted to go back to the DR. And she realized that her forcing her father to move in with them to, create this family dynamic ended up being damaging to both her and her mother. Then on another sad note, she tells him about the miscarriage. And when she told Alan he was lackluster, he was not caring, he said, I'm at work, what you want? So she felt like, damn, all that time I thought we were building something. All that time I thought we were moving forward with creating a family, creating something. But ever since she moved from DR to Miami, back to Miami, it's been, stagnant. They are not as romantic as they were. They don't see each other as often as they wanted to. And Princess gave her some good advice, even though she didn't take it, but I don't think she would have taken it anyway. As you don't want to have a baby with someone you don't want to be with. You don't want to have a baby by the wrong person. And you don't. With trying to have this story or have this fairy tale, it always comes back to bite you when you want to have kids with that person. And you're not going to get the same results as it was when you guys were in a relationship. Like I said, Princess won't take that advice because she wanted to have those kids with Ray J, and now she has them. She's set. Amada, again, she returns home. She sees her mother, and she wants them to do something special for Daniel before he leaves. But her mom says, I got something to tell you. There's a letter, and there's a vase waiting with her with flowers. I think the mother read the letter before. I think she read it. So obviously, it read that from Daniel. I hope our time we had was special. I love you. I hope our memories are good. And then blah blah blah. And then much love. See you later, Daniel. Like very simple 1 page of thank you for pretty much giving me a stable, giving me a home in the pandemic. Thank you for paying for my cancer. I'm in remission. Thank you for providing me with the luxury of being in the house where I ain't gotta do nothing. But now that I've got what I need from you, I'm finna be out. Deuces. And he did not want to wait for her. Her mom say I tried to give him to wait so he can tell you in person, but no, he wanted to be a pussy and leave. And Amada breaks down because she felt like I thought we were building something as being mother and as being father and daughter, but she forced him to move in. Well, forced him to move in. She forced the relationship to be what it was. She forced him to be there. She forced him to do that. And then he only came because he had nowhere to go in the pandemic. Because he said he has to go to his other family in the DR. Other family meaning siblings, cousins, or we talking about sons and daughters. Like what other family? What do you mean by that? Like, she really broke down. And I'm not mad at her for feeling like that because she wanted that family friend. She wanted that family dynamic. A mother's love and a father's love. And she did not have it. And the fact that the father just gave her a simple ass, I'm outie, thank you for all the time. All the time that we've had, our hope is treasured. Versus then you not being in her life ever since she was a kid. She's damn near 30 years old. You have missed a whole lot of things. Decades worth. And it's so conveniently at last season when he came and she was doing her performance, she was already a name, she was already a celebrity, and then she took upon herself to pay for your cancer, give you a place to stay, and then after you become completely in remission, you are cancer free, you say, all right, hard part's over. I didn't know what I was going to do to pay my bills, but she did it for me as I thought she would, and now I'm outie. Like, really took Amada's kindness for weakness. Really took advantage of Amada wanting her father's love. But then the fact that she forced it, she's definitely kicking herself for feeling like that, kicking herself for doing it. So she is literally like in shock and awe. She's going like this with her hands, and then she takes the vase and breaks it, looks at her mother and says, I'm done with trying to help. I'm done with trying to be a people pleaser. I am done with trying to be something that I know I do not need to be. I don't need to be a small little I don't need to be daddy's princess. I don't need to. I've already had my you have already made me who I am, and I made myself who I am without him. I don't need him. That's it. Good night. So Trina, Joy's on the last Last time, trying to get Trina to relax, so she invites a woman who does sound baths, where she makes little sounds in these glowing tubes with a sound rattle, and they all like woosah and everything, count from 10, breathe in, breathe out. And Trina fell asleep. And they was like, oh my God, it worked. She relaxed, she fell asleep, and that's all they wanted her to do because she is not the type of person who takes naps at any given time. This is the step. And then obviously Trina wasn't mad. She loved it. She was at peace. They felt like the rain was a sign that this was a good thing, but then it started to rain like crazy. They all leave. Because of course this is all about trying to fix her, but no. Sometimes just letting someone sleep is the best medicine. Flo. Flo and her husband are separated, but she wants one more time to get a full understanding and closure. So they invite Debbie, Gael, Marlon, and Flo all in her restaurant to get it popping. So she said, Marlon, dumbass, want to say, I need for people to know the truth, and I don't want to hear from the game a telephone, so now everybody can know the truth. Marlon, everybody knew the truth when Gael said it. We knew the truth when Debbie said it. You pussy ass didn't want to say it, and now when someone tells more of the truth, you want to say, that's not like that, that's not like that. Boy, bye. So she's like, okay, what happened? Debbie starts it off. You know what? We're at the restaurant. I was sitting over there. The way that Gael is sitting on top of the bench, I was sitting like that, smoking hookah. We were talking, we were drinking, and then he walked in between my legs and started to eat the cookie. He said, that's not what happened. It was a trap. Shut up. Marlon, shut up. A trap what? She's like a siren. She's a seductress coming to blow pheromones at you. Does she want to come her way? Boy, bye. Then, of course, you texted me that you miss me and all that type of stuff. No, it was a typo. I didn't text you that I miss you. How do you do a typo that says you miss her? We got the text message. You say miss you. That wasn't an interpreted way of saying miss you, don't want to talk to you. No, it was a miss you. Say, I want to fuck again. How's that? What's up? So then, Debbie tells him, this is not your first go around. Only reason why you're upset because you got caught. And I was a real enough bitch to tell Gael what happened. So after all that, he still goes on with the same thing. People outside. I don't give a fuck who's outside. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing for Flo. It's embarrassing for Debbie because you're trying to make it seem as if this is my fault. Like I'm the one that came on to you. No, sir. You the one that came to me talking to me about how, yeah, I'm feeling lonely. Flo's in all her performances and blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, who told her that? Who told her that? Who told her that I was always doing performances? Who said that? Who said that? Let me know. And then he said, listen, I wanted to tell her and da-da-da. But Marla, you was never going to tell her anything. You wasn't until you got caught. And now that you got caught, you trying to make sure you cover all your ends. And you're not doing it correctly. So like she said, she knew the truth from two reliable sources, Debbie and her sister. And she defended you. And now she looking stupid for defending you. Then, he's like, listen, at the same point in time, this is not about me. This is about us getting back together. Getting back together where? And then, Jay was like, she deserves to know the truth. Why hasn't she deserved to know the truth? And then Marlon was also talking about, listen, if a girl's going to come at me with this, I'm not going to turn it down. Why would I turn it down? So you're not going to turn it down. So that means anybody who you approach or they approach and they want on some fuck you, they want some, you want to get some, you going to take it. Flo gets in his face, hits him with her purse. Debbie like, let's jump this pussy ass nigga. She hits him with her purse because at the same time, it's like, how the hell do you say that shit in front of your wife? How do you talk about how if a girl approaches you and you want to fuck her, it can happen and you're not going to turn it down? Marlon's a sorry ass nigga. He's a pussy ass nigga at that fact. He's a coward. Coward. Flo is crying because Debbie's like, look what you doing to her. Look at what you're doing to her. Look and see how hard she fucking works, which makes it really funny because Marlon obviously don't have nothing else to stand on besides hopping onto Flo's success. She's a singer. She is a entrepreneur. She has two businesses, a beauty bar and a restaurant. And Marlon don't have shit. So since he feels emasculated about what he doesn't bring to the table, he also finds other women that he feels like he can power over. Oh my God, Marlon gets on my damn nerves about how, it was a trap. She did all this. Like, you think Debbie's, purposely planned for you to eat her out? No. You approached her, you complained about your wife doing too much, that you're not getting your attention, and you took advantage. Even though Debbie is at fault, she admitted what she did, but at the same point in time, you cannot put this all on her because you are a married man and you should have more control of your emotions and more control of your horniness. You should control that. You know better. I'm done. She said, I'm done. It's a wrap. We over. We done. Sookie. It's her grand opening for the Good Cat. You got her cousin there. He's showcasing. He is selling every garment. I love it. He's like, yes, we in the Good Cat. He get a confessional with say, hey, y'all. I want to shout out to all my former employees, KFC, C-Trends, and Popeyes. Y'all didn't think I was going to make it. I wasn't going to get nowhere. But look at here I am. I'm in the Good Cat. I'm here. I was like, I love the cousin. So the Good Cat is a really good success. She loves it. She's very happy. Everything came to play. Bill comes in. He said, I know this is her day. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I just want to say what I got to say and see what she says. So he like cuts everybody else off and said, hold up. Listen, you made me the man that I am. You saved me. I love you and your kids. I can't live my life without you. You're going to be my woman. You're going to always be my woman. I'm going to be your man. Ain't nobody's going to take us apart. So I want to know, is you down with me? Do you still want me? Like, this on the knees, are you down with me? I'm like, oh shit, these proposals are crazy. So then her friend comes in and says, listen, I would never tell you to stick with somebody that's not good for you, but I will tell you to stick somebody who has been there for you. Regardless of what you see on social media, Bill is a good man. And even though he's from the streets, he does know how to express himself a lot, but he does love Sookie and he does love her kids. And you don't get a lot of men that does that has a different change and has a different lookout on life and wants to do better. So Bill asked her, how do you feel about him? She said, I love you. I appreciate you. I love how you make me feel and how I love my kids happy. So yes, I want to marry you again. And that was the end of the episode. They all love. It's all good. They all dance. And the Good Cat's a huge success. I saw it on Instagram that Sookie and Bill are still together. They're still together, and I love that. But that's it, y'all. That's all I have for today. Please stay tuned for the next video, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.